Hi everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to be making some really cute and easy faux leather bookmarks with our Cricut machine. They are so simple to make and so fun to personalize. So I made 3 that I'll show you today. This one's so cute. I think this one says fell asleep here. It's backwards for me. So yep, it does. It says fell asleep here, which is totally me because I read myself to sleep quite often. And then this is really cute. This one says just one more chapter, and this has a really fun little icon on it that's really cute as well. I will show you where I purchased this little kit for these faux leather bookmarks. It made designing them super fun. And then I also did something a little bit different, and I made them actually double-sided. I did that because I thought that they would be a lot sturdier, which it definitely made them a lot sturdier. And I also did it just because I thought it was more polished, so I love how that looks. And then I had some fun with some patterned faux leather, and I made myself a little monogram one that turned out really fun. There it goes. And this one has some foil iron-on on it. So we're going to learn how to cut this faux leather on our machine. We'll also learn how to place iron-on on faux leather. So lots of fun things happening in this tutorial. I'm really excited to jump in and get started. These make really fun gifts. You could use them as stocking stuffers, and if you have a book club or Bible study, this is the perfect go-to little present. You can also make these in bulk super easy if you have a big sheet of faux leather. So get ready because these are super fun to make. Also, you will find all of the materials that I use in the description box below this video in case you want to take a closer look at anything I'm using. All right, let's hop into Design Space. I'll show you how to get these designed, cut out. We'll get the iron-on them, and then I'll show you how to assemble them. All right, let's get started. Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. This is the little bookmark kit that I am going to be using to put my little projects together today. So I purchased this kit. It comes with some templates for the actual bookmarks and then some cute little graphics. And there are more than what you see here, but I just uploaded the ones that I am going to use today. So I really like this. Of course, you could make, these are really simple shapes and simple graphics. You could probably make stuff like this in Cricut Design Space, but I really liked how the graphics were put together, and I really liked the phrases. So I thought, why not just buy a little kit and make this super easy? So I'm going to tweak this just a little bit, as you will see in a little while. As you can see right now, this is just a one-sided bookmark, but I want to make mine double-sided because I'm using faux leather and I want it to be a little bit thicker. And I think just making it double-sided will increase the durability. So I'll show you how I'll do that in a minute. So the first thing I want to do is, as you can see, when I click on these images, they are multiple layers. And then when I click on the Word files, they are multiple layers as well. So to simplify everything, I'm just going to drag and drop on each of the files, and then I'm going to come down and weld them together. So as you can see, when I do this one right here, this is made up of multiple layers, but when I come down and weld it together, it is one layer. That's also going to help ensure that everything is cut in the exact fashion that you see it here. So I'll do the same for these and just simplify my little panel on the right side here, and we will be all good to go. Okay, so these are the graphics that I have chosen. Again, there are more than what you see here in the bundle, but I just pulled in and uploaded the ones that I really wanted to use. So I am going to first and foremost size my bookmarks. So right now they are a little big for my taste, so I am going to make the height of them 4.5 inches tall, and I'll do the same for this. 4.5. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these double-sided. So I am going to take the file, I'm going to come over and duplicate it, and then I'm going to bring it up to the top of it. Then I will say flip vertical. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up just like this. And I'm just going to get them just so that they are touching, just like this. Okay, that looks good to me. I can zoom in and just make sure that I did a good job. Ooh, zooming in really helps because I didn't quite get them quite aligned. So just a little bit more, just like that. Okay, so now they are connected. Then I will grab both of them, come up to a line, and I will say center horizontally just to make sure they are completely centered on one another. Now what I'm going to do is, with them both selected, I am going to weld them together. So now this is one cut. So what I will do is, once it's cut out, I am going to actually fold it onto one another and glue it together just to really increase the durability. Plus it makes it a double-sided bookmark, which I think is visually more pleasing than having one side the nice faux leather and the other side just the back of the faux leather, which really is not very attractive at all. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing for this. Again, grabbing the file, clicking duplicate, bring it right up on top of it, and then I'll say flip, flip vertical, and then I will just bring these together just like so. Okay, that looks good, but I need to click off and see I didn't quite get it, so I'm going to do it one more time. That looks good. Select both, come up to a line and say align or center horizontally, and then I will weld them together to make sure they cut in one solid piece. Okay, so if at any point I'm going too quickly for you, always know that YouTube is amazing for allowing you to pause, restart, rewind, any of the above, so that you can get everything all clarified for yourself. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to size my little designs that are going to go on the bookmark. Now, what I would like to do also is I would like to create a third bookmark and just put a monogram on it because I just have to, and it's so cute. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to duplicate this file and bring it over here. Okay, so now I'm going to make this a light blue because I'm going to print this out of a patterned faux leather. This will be out of a light pink, just like so, and this will be out of a darker pink. So I will just grab a pink, come down to advanced, and make it a darker pink. Okay, that looks good to me. So now I will just get everything all sized and ready. So I am going to make sure all of my bookmarks are sent to the back so that I can pull things on top of them. So I'm just sending them to the back. That allows me to bring other images on top of them and not have them hidden behind. So I'm just going to size my little icon. That's so cute. You can do this on both sides if you like. I'm only going to do it on one side. So I'm going to size it and just place it where I'd like it. And then I am going to use the fell asleep here. I think that's so cute for this, just like that. Okay, so I love how that looks. I'm just sizing these at this point, and that looks really, really nice to me. So I might bring this up just a little bit, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the fell asleep here sentiment, and then I'm going to select the little graphic down here, and I'm holding down Command on my keyboard to have them both selected at the same time. And then I'm going to align, and I'm going to center horizontally, which looks like I centered it really well. Okay, so I want these to cut out together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply attach them together. That way they cut out just like this. They'll cut out in one piece, and they'll already be spaced so that I can weave them all at once, and then I can apply that all at once, and everything will be spaced. So this is all good and ready to go. I am going to cut this out of a white vinyl, so I'll just color code that. That looks cute. And then I'll just do the same for this. So I will size this down, bring this over here. So cute. There's also a third template that has a different tip on the bottom as well, so you might want to check that out too, but I liked these better. Okay, so I'm just sizing that. Maybe I'll size that up just a little bit more. Oops, nope, I'm not. Sizing it down. There we go. I forgot about this little hole up here. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, now what I'm going to do again is hold down the Command key and grab both of them, align, and center horizontally, and then I will attach those together. Again, I will cut this out of a white vinyl and we'll be all set. Okay, for the last one, I'm just going to apply a simple monogram, and I'm doing that because this is going to be out of a really fun patterned faux leather, and so I like to do a simpler design when it comes to a patterned leather because the patterned leather is going to be the showcase, and so it's nice to pair that with something more simplistic. So I'll keep my design simple and just do a monogram. I'm grabbing my text here, and then I am going to use the font Kate's ABC's Baby Girl. It's one of my favorites for doing this particular style of monogram, so I'll select that, and then I'm going to type out my own monogram, just like so. Then I'll just bring it over here really quickly. I will delete that second layer that you see in the layers panel right here. Delete, and then I will create my monogram. So to do so, I will ungroup all of my letters, and traditionally your middle letter is bigger in the monogram, so I will just make the middle letter bigger, and then I will space these accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to grab my two end initials, so the R and the B, and I'll come over and align and say align bottom. That way they are lined up perfectly. Okay, visually they look very nice centered, so I'm all good with that. I'm going to select all of them and just weld them together. If you need a tutorial on attach versus welding, I'll be sure to place a link in the top right corner of the video so that you can clarify the difference between those two functions. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and unlock this, and I'm just going to elongate it a little bit. I like the monogram to be a little bit more long. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring it over and lock that and size it for my actual bookmark. Okay, so very cute. I love how that is. And then what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut this out of foil iron-on. So I will just grab a nice kind of gold color so I know to load that in, and that's close enough and we'll be all set. Okay, so now it's time to cut. So now I have my Cricut Explore Air 2 all ready to go, and I can say make it. Now everything is going to be placed on the mats according to how I color coded them. So these are going to be cut out of the Everyday Iron-On in the white, and then these three mats are going to be the faux leather mats, and then this mat here will be our foil iron-on. So for the iron-on mats, I need to mirror those mats. So I'm going to toggle the mirror button on. So this is an iron-on mat, and then this is an iron-on mat. And then for my other three mats, I do not need to mirror. So I'm just making sure that I did mirror the other two. I did. Okay, so now I can go ahead and say continue. Okay, so for my first mat, I'm going to use the Everyday Iron-On setting, and then I will use just my regular fine point blade. Now for mat number 3, again, that's the foil iron-on, so I will come back in and I will change my material. So I'll just select custom material, I'll select on that and say browse materials, and then I will go all the way down to iron-on, and I will select the foil iron-on setting for cutting out mat number 3. Again, that will also be done with the fine point blade. For mats 2, 4, and 5, I'm going to be cutting faux leather. So what I will do then is I will come back into Design Space, and then I will select a new material. So I will browse all materials, I will scroll all the way down to leather, and then I like to use the genuine leather setting. If there's another setting that you really like to use with faux leather, go for it, but I have always had really good luck with using the genuine leather setting. So I will use that. When I click on that and say done, you'll notice that it's going to have me load my deep point blade. So at that point, I will load the deep point blade into the machine and do my cuts for the faux leather. Okay, so a couple different blades and lots of different settings, but these are going to turn out really great. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I am going to open up my machine. I'm using my green mat. You can also use your blue mat for cutting iron-on. So I'm going to place my iron-on shiny side down on the mat. Again, this is just the Everyday Iron-On, so I'm just using the Everyday Iron-On setting, and then I will load and get this cut out. So for my next mat, I am going to do the foil iron-on. You're going to place the foil shiny side down on the mat. Grab your scraps for this project because it takes very, very little material. So I searched through my scrap box and found a tiny piece of foil iron-on to use. Again, I did change my setting to foil iron-on in Design Space, so now I'm ready to cut. Okay, now it's time to cut the faux leather. So again, I'm going to remove my fine point blade from clamp B, and then I am going to take my deep point blade and I'm going to insert that into clamp B. Then I'll close the clamp and we are all set in terms of blades. Now for my first one, I am going to be cutting out this really pretty bubblegum pink color. I'll do my best to link all of my faux leather materials in the description box of the video if I can find them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this onto my mat. Now, when I'm cutting faux leather, I like to place mine leather side down on the mat. The other side of faux leather is more like a felt material, and it does not grip onto the mat as well. But when you put the faux leather side down on the mat, it gives a really nice tight grip, and it helps keep it in place so that it can cut really nice. So I'm going to just turn it over. Again, I have my faux leather side down on the mat. I'll turn that over and just lay that really nicely on the mat so that it's nice and secure. Okay, so that looks really good. And then I can load it into my machine and get this cut out. Okay, so it's all done cutting. Now before you click unload on your machine, go ahead and try to peel it up to make sure it's done a good cut. Mine has, as you can see, so I can go ahead and unload it. If yours hasn't, then you'll be able to press start again, and it will do another pass to make sure it cuts all the way through. So now I can go ahead and just remove all of the extra faux leather from my mat, and it did a really nice cut. Perfect. And then I can just sort of bend my mat here and peel away the rest. So cute. Now there should be some little holes in here as well. Yes, I see them, so I can just grab those out as well. And we will be all set. Okay, so that cut perfectly, and now I can go ahead and move on to my next one. Okay, so my next piece of faux leather is going to be this patterned faux leather. I really like this. It's so pretty. I've done so many crafts with this. This is actually my very last piece, so it was perfect for a bookmark. So what I'm going to do again is place it leather side down, or faux leather, I should say, faux leather side down onto the mat. And again, that just helps get a nice tight grip onto the faux leather. Then I can do the same process, so insert into my machine and cut it out. So I'll cut out this piece and then my final piece, which is this really nice bright pink, and then we'll go ahead and get everything assembled. Okay, so before I assemble all of them together, I am going to get the iron-on placed onto the faux leather. So I went ahead and I have my little mini EasyPress. I'm going to go ahead and preheat that to low, which is just the first and one little wavy mark. And while that's preheating, I can go ahead and just weed out my little designs. I love using this foil iron-on. It is one of my favorite products to use. It is beautiful and it's so easy to work with. So I also have a tutorial on how to create a t-shirt with this, and it is one of my favorite shirts that I have made with my Cricut. The foil just made it so beautiful. So I'll be sure to link that for you in case you'd like to learn how to use this foil iron-on for creating a t-shirt. So it's so pretty. It's kind of hard to see right now, but you will see it in just a moment. So I'll place that to the side, and then I will just weed out my everyday iron-on as well. So I'm just slowly weeding this out. These are very small letters, but smaller letters with iron-on is just fine, I have found. It's definitely better than adhesive vinyl, that's for sure. So just take your time and go slow, and make sure you don't pull up anything that should be staying on the little carrier sheet. Okay, now I will go through and I will just take out all of the little middle pieces of the designs that need to be removed. My EasyPress Mini has preheated, so this will be perfect. The reason I am applying the iron-on before assembling the bookmarks is because I will be assembling the bookmarks with hot glue. So I want to make sure that I don't reheat up that hot glue with my iron. I want the designs to be all placed on before I do any hot gluing. Okay, so this one's done. I absolutely love this one that says fell asleep here because it's just so me. I read myself to sleep every single night with my little Kindle, and I just absolutely love reading before bed. So sometimes I even have to wake up and read the last page or two again because I realized that I was probably asleep while reading it. Okay, so now I just want to make sure that I know which little piece is going on which. So I know I'm going to put my foil iron-on right on this over here, so that'll be really, really nice. And I can decide which side I want it on. I think I might put it on this side. It might stand out a little bit more. And then for this one, let's see. I can't remember how I had them in Design Space, and it actually might not matter too much which one is which. Actually, I really like it this way. Did I have it the other way in Design Space? I'm not sure, but I'm going to go this way for this. I think. So they're all ready to go. So I'm just going to set these to the side and I'll do my foil iron-on first. I'm going to grab a little bit of parchment paper because I like to use parchment paper when ironing on faux leather. Okay, so I have just a little piece of parchment paper and it just provides a nice little barrier just to protect the material. And I'm going to just preheat really quickly the material for about 5 seconds. Now the EasyPress Mini is intended to be moved while pressing, so that's why I'm rotating it as I'm pressing, unlike the bigger presses which you hold still. So that's preheated. Then I can go ahead and center my iron-on where I would like it to go. Might bring it up just a little bit. And when I like where it is, I can just lay it down, place my little parchment paper right back on top, and then I'm going to press this on low for 30 seconds with light pressure and then constant movement. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and let this completely cool before peeling that up. So I'm going to set this to the side and I will just move on to my next one. So again, just removing my design really quickly so that I can do a quick little preheat. And again, just about 5 seconds. Okay, so I have that all laid down where I'd like that. Again, replacing that parchment paper, and we'll do 30 seconds with light pressure and constant movement. So again, I will just set this to the side and let it completely cool. This one at this point is cool to the touch, so I can go ahead and slowly remove that liner. And there is the foil one. It's a little hard to see on camera, but in person it really, really is obvious. And it shines through really, really nice. I love how that looks. Okay, so we are done with this one. It will be ready to be assembled. This is still cooling and we can move on to this. Okay, so again, I'm going to preheat this material. So I did mention that I'm reading on my Kindle right now, and that's because at the timing of this video, of recording this video, I am pregnant, but probably by the time this video goes live on YouTube, I will probably have had my baby by then. So the reason why I personally like to read on my Kindle right now is just because it's such a good little device for when you're expecting, when you have that pregnancy insomnia and you wake up in the middle of the night and you need to get help going back to sleep, or when you have a new little one. My Kindle is definitely one of my favorite gadgets for when I have a new baby, because I actually get a lot of reading done when I have a little infant, because they're up at all hours of the night and you can keep the lights all nice and low, and it's just really, really nice because you don't overly wake them up even though they are awake, and you can get a little reading done while they have some milk, and it's just my favorite. So I get a ton of everybody always says you're not going to get anything done when you have a newborn, which is true. However, when it comes to reading, that is something that I get a lot of done, because you're just cozy all the time and sitting around and cuddling and they're sleeping and you just need a little quiet time. So I say all this because I'm making my bookmarks, because when I get two hands again, I actually prefer a physical copy of a book. I love having a physical book. It's my favorite. But during this season of life, the Kindle is amazing. I've gone through, I think, 3 Kindles, one with each pregnancy, because they're just amazing. They are awesome. Okay, so that should be about good. We'll let that cool. And then this one I was a little nervous about, so we'll see how this turns out, because there are indents in the actual faux leather. It's a really, really pretty cross pattern, and it's gorgeous, but we'll see how the iron-on lays down. I just thought I'd give it a try because I really love this faux leather, so we'll see. This is a little smoother. Of course, this is smoother as well, so it will work just fine. But now I can peel up my liner. Now, if you notice it's not laying down, you can put your liner right back on top, and then you can give it some more heat, but that laid down perfectly. So this one is all ready. So cute. Just one more chapter. I say that all the time too, to myself. And then we'll let this cool for a little bit longer. It's almost cool. Once you take it off of the mat, it really cools quick. Okay, so I'm going to try peeling this up. That actually laid down really nicely despite having a little bit of an uneven surface to be pressed on. That laid down really good. I love it. It turned out great. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so now we are ready to get out our hot glue and start assembling these, put our little embellishments on them. So cute. And now we have, I also have this, I got it in the sewing section, it looks like, at Hobby Lobby, and it's called Metallic Cord, and it's the tan or gold color. So I'm going to try this out for just our little tassel embellishment. Those little holes are super, super small, so you could even edit those in Design Space and make those a little bigger. We'll see how it goes, but that might be a tip for when you recreate this if you decide to. Okay, so I have some hot glue here. Now you can use any adhesive that you find best. I have had really good success with using hot glue and faux leather. I've made some snap clips for my girls for their hair and used the hot glue when assembling them, and they have held up wonderfully. I've also made keychains with faux leather, word keychains, which I'll link as well, and I used faux leather to get those assembled, and they have held up beautifully. So if you like to use something else, that's totally fine. I always get comments about people using other things, and that is fine. I'm just showing you what I like to do and what I've had success with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just line up my design, and I'm just double checking to make sure that that hole lines up, which it does. So theoretically it should, because of how I designed it in Design Space, or how I duplicated it and had it aligned in Design Space, but I'm just double checking, and that one is good as well. We want to make sure everything lines up perfectly, and that one does as well. Okay, so now what I can do is I can start applying my glue. Now, when it comes to glue, the more the better. So if you get too much on here, that's even better. If it's seeping out the sides, perfect, because then you can seal the sides with your finger and it will just seal those little leather ends. So I'm just making sure, yep, I have enough glue, and I am just going to start applying a lot of glue to the inside of one side of the bookmark. Just one side is fine. Going quickly, because you know hot glue goes quick. Okay, and dries quick. Then I will just fold this other side onto itself, and I now know, and I do see that I'm going to need some more glue, which is just fine, but making sure everything lines up really nice, pressing firmly, and there we go. Now it is all assembled. This is so much more durable than it would have been just to have one. Do you see how flimsy that is with just one side? But with the two sides, that's so much more durable. And I like the size. I think that's really nice. I've also made magnetic bookmarks that just flip over the page, and they have the little page connected between the two magnets. So I'll place a link to that as well, because that was super, super fun. Okay, so one thing I really like in particular about using this hot glue gun is that it has a precision tip. So now I can go through and I can just actually place just the tip inside and just put hot glue right in there, just like that. You see how I'm just dragging that hot glue in there? And then I can press down. And again, if it seeps out the side, that's even better, because that's going to seal those ends. Perfect. So then if I have any hot glue, of course, being careful, I will just run my finger over the sides to smooth it out, and then it seals the sides. So it's perfect. Again, I can take that precision tip and just lift up any areas that need more glue and sneak that little tip in there. So it's really handy little tool. I've gone through, this is my third glue gun. And if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I've had such a debacle on finding the perfect glue gun. Such a crafter's first world problem, right? Trying to find the perfect glue gun. Obviously something that doesn't matter, but I found that this one has checked all the boxes for me. So I'll link it for you. Oops. Try not to burn yourself. I will link it for you down in the description box in case you would like one as well. It's definitely going to stay around, unlike my other ones. Okay, so perfect. I love how that turned out. And again, just sealing those edges, that looks amazing. It feels really durable too. How cute for like any type of gift, really. But stocking stuffers and any gift for the book lover that you have. Okay, so super fun. I love how that turned out. We can move on to the next one and just repeat the same process. So this time I'm going to be even more generous with that glue, maybe even focusing specifically around those edges and then going in the middle and getting really crazy in the middle. Okay, there we go. And then folding it down, lining up the ends. Perfect. Super quick and easy. And if you wanted to do a ton of these, then you could just duplicate it a bunch of times in Design Space and then just have a whole assembly system going. How cute would this be for maybe like your book club, Bible study group? So easy. And look how professional they look. I think these look really nice. Okay, so I did much better with gluing on that time, just because I was a little bit more focused about where I put my glue, but I'm still going to go through those edges, and I'm just squeezing glue in there, and then essentially squeezing it out towards the edge and sealing it with my finger. Again, being careful, but it dries so quickly that it's pretty cool by the time it seeps out. And then the other side. You guys know I say it a lot when I get really excited about how something turns out. I always say, this is my favorite craft I've ever done on my channel. But this might be one of the top 10 for sure. These are turning out so good. Okay, so that one's done. I'll go ahead and you guys get the point at this stage. I'll go ahead and finish my last one. But again, just going down the edges first has really, really helped get it really glued down really nice. So I'll do that again. So you can also use this entire template from Design Bundles for other materials as well. So again, I purchased this whole kit, and if you wanted to do it out of cardstock, you can. Anything else in case you don't want to do faux leather, but I'm telling you what, these faux leather bookmarks are awesome. And they will definitely hold up much better than a paper one would, in my opinion. I'll have to send one of these to my mom. We have actually, ironically, have picked up the same books lately. And it's kind of funny because I don't know why we have been doing that, but we'll get to talking about what we're reading and we end up reading just about the same book or have just finished the same book that the other one is starting. So that's super fun. So I'll have to send her one of these for her book. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and try to put this little leather cord through there. Again, these little holes are a little small, so I would recommend making them bigger in Design Space. I'm actually going to see if I can just kind of loosen it up a little bit. Oh, that worked. Okay, so loosening it up a little bit with my weeding tool, and then I can feed the cord through there. Oh, that worked really well. Okay, so that is cute. Oh my goodness, I love it. And this again is like a metallic cord, so it has a little bit of gold flecks in it. It's so pretty. Okay, so I really want to, you know what, I really want to have it double through there. Do you think I can get double through there? We'll see. Okay, so I am just about, and I can use my weeding tool. Whoops. And then I can use my weeding tool also to pull it through. Aha, perfect. Okay, so I really wanted the double look because then I can bring it through and then, oh, cute. Okay, attach it just like so. Okay, I love how that looked. So definitely widen your little hole in there. But other than that, so how you would do that is you'd contour that little hole out, just take it away, and then just grab a circle shape and cut out your own new hole is what I would recommend. I think that would be much better, but this does work as well. So if you want to just get crafty with your weeding tool, apparently it's a very multi-purpose tool. Okay, so I'm just kind of widening that hole a little bit. I'm not really ruining the faux leather or anything. I'm just kind of stretching that out a little bit. Okay, and then taking my cord and pushing it through and then just grabbing it with my weeding tool on the other side. So just grabbing that, pulling it through. There we go. Easy peasy. Okay, I actually had this cord for another project and I don't even know what it was, but another idea would be cute ribbon. A ribbon would be really pretty in this too. How fun. Aww. Okay, I, believe it or not, did not have any thinner ribbon to use, which I always feel like I have a ton of ribbon, but I wonder if I maybe accidentally parted ways with some while I was cleaning up my craft room. I do that and then regret it. I try to simplify and then end up needing something. The weeding tool saved the day. So even if you don't remember to make those holes bigger, it's not a big deal because that was easy peasy lemon squeezy. I love this. Aww. If I was still in Bible study, our Bible study group obviously hasn't met for over a year, and our book club hasn't met for over a year, so I would have given these to all of my little Bible study ladies, but these are super cute. I love how these turned out. So let me know how you thought these turned out. These are so fun, so easy, so simple, and I think they are a perfect little gift. All right, if you enjoyed this, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video.